Hello everyone, it's Scott and welcome back to another episode of Regrowth. So I'm over by my vats and what I'm doing is I'm attempting to mix quicklime and water. And what I'm doing is I'm taking the limestone that I'm getting from the world and melting it down in the crucible furnace to produce quicklime. And crucible furnace needs to be some 800 degrees before it melts down. I have another batch here of quicklime, and what I need to do is combine this with water to create magnesium. So under the book Basic Materials and Processing for Mariculture, magnesium is made by mixing 3 buckets of water with 4 buckets of quicklime, and that's going to produce 1 bit of magnesium dust. And so then we can melt the magnesium dust down in the crucible furnace again to produce liquid magnesium, which can be mixed with our rutile to produce titanium. But before that, there is one thing I want to do with the magnesium, and that is create a generator. So I think I have all the parts for this water-based generator. I have a redstone comparator, which I can make from nether quartz, which is made from melting down the nether quartz ore. Very simple now to make. I already made some copper batteries, as I demonstrated, I think last episode, just from iron and copper. And so what I need to do is follow the directions of the factory, which is to create this power generation and some basic iron building blocks. And so from that, I can create a pressurized water device with sluices. A water sluice is something you would find in a hydroelectric dam. It just diverts water, but in this case, in Minecraft, it creates pressurized water, which is basically a blue water block that can move anything around. So it'd be interesting to see if there's something we could do with a mob farm with that stuff in the future. But I ended up creating a system upstairs. So let's take a look over here. So where I've been building the expansion area, I now have a waterfall and 8 sluices. And so, as you can see, if anything falls in, it's immediately pushed out. And that's been working pretty well. I think I have one little error here. For some reason, I think there's a water block that's not directing properly. They should all be flowing forward, which means that I think these 2 blocks are not getting the water flow exactly right. But yep, the device seems to be working okay. I'm just getting close to completion. So let me redirect the quicklime. So let's go back in here and grab another fluid tank. I'm ending up with a lot of junk at this point, but that's okay. So placing the fluid tank next to the crucible furnace, since it's set to auto eject fluids, we'll dump all the quicklime here into this tank. And so let's let that drain out. Now what I did was I can't use the bucket to transfer quicklime. So I ended up using a wooden fluid pipe contained to a wooden engine, and what that'll do is it'll pump 500 millibuckets, so 1/2 bucket worth every pump cycle. And so I just need to get this up to 4,000 again, and there's just a little bit left over here in this tank. So there'll be 844 left. And that'll be pretty cool to make another magnesium ore. Oh, did I do too much? 2,000? Nope, not yet. Okay, I just need to add a little bit more water, 2500 quicklime. Let's pump that in. Actually, I should probably just pump all of it in at this point, and just let that go. So now that I've hit the, if I can hit the 4,000 mark, yep, now it's going to start to create a second batch. Excellent. So this should have drained by now. Okay, we're empty, so let's take that magnesium dust, throw it in, and that produced 1 ingot's worth of molten magnesium, which is going to drop into the ingot caster. Oh no, there's quicklime in the caster, so let's get that out and replace the caster. That's probably why I'm getting that odd amount. Okay, so empty, empty. Okay, so I have 1 ingot's worth. If I put that into, let's see, molten magnesium. So molten magnesium looks like it can be placed in the vat, but I don't think, yeah, it will not work in the Tinker's Construct smeltery. Alright, so that, so let me build up enough for a couple. It looks like I'm going to need a total of 4 before this will work. So let me craft up a couple more of the magnesium dust, and I'll be right back. Well, it turned out that I didn't really need to wait. The magnesium ingot had already popped out. I guess it just took a little while for the magnesium to work its way through the ingot caster, that the ingot caster would allow to produce single ingots at a time. So let's head back over here to where I have this formula waiting, and let's place in our single piece of magnesium to produce a generator. Awesome. Alright, so what I need to do now, according to the book, is I'm going to need to create some iron construction blocks. So these are pretty simple, just glass pane plus iron ingots. So let me grab a couple more pieces of iron. Oh, by the way, I upgraded some of these to compacting drawers. So this is a pretty useful block brought in by storage drawers that allow you to insert a, these are items that can be combined into a 3x3 pattern, and so anything that has a 3x3 pattern can be thrown in to basically do 2 levels. So an item can be broken down into nuggets, into 9 nuggets, or it can combine up to a block. And so these actually store a pretty good amount of material, and yeah, so let's figure out next. So we have some iron ingot. So all I need are 8 of these iron construction block. Well, it looks like I can make, well, let's make 3, and then let's make some more glass pane, and then make a couple more of these blocks. So 3, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I need a total of 8. Excellent. Okay, so let's head out to the water wheel area, and I will touch on what's going on the left in just a bit. But the stop it. All right, got him. So with the water, let's figure out where to place the generator. I think I'd like to do it right here. So let's break down this piece of obsidian. Actually, first, let's clear my inventory a little. I'm going to have to repair that potato farm. Okay. So let's grab this block. or not. Let's grab it with the thaumium enabled alamite pick. Okay, let's drop down the generator block. Really? Really? Alright, let's try again. Okay, so let's fill in underneath with a piece of cracked sand, then the generator block. Okay, so that's facing the right way. Then what it looks like is I'm going to need to lay down the iron construction blocks here. And next, I'm going to need some of these aluminum rotors. So the aluminum rotor is the best I can make so far. It's a very simple recipe, aluminum with a stone slab in the middle. And according to the directions, what I'm going to need to do is lay these guys out in a on top of the iron construction block, and they have to be connected to the generator. So let's try this. Oh no, that's not right at all. So let's see if I can pick this up. Okay, good. That doesn't make any sense at all. Alright, so I've run the cable underneath the generator, and the last thing I'm going to need, so this is a golden kinesis pipe, which is some of the easiest to make now. It's just redstone plus a golden transport pipe, which is this gold and glass, and that's going to carry up to 2500 RF per tick. But what I need is the emerald kinesis pipe, which is the power input pipe, which is going to just be 2 pieces of emerald. So since I have the emerald seeds, I went ahead and crafted a chunk. So here's power emerald kinesis pipe. So throwing that in, we see that it's making a connection all the way down to my incubator. And I also found out that the what I needed to do over here was hit these with the wrench, the Buildcraft wrench, and that rotates it by 90 degrees. So at least everything is aligned. I guess the block animation doesn't necessarily have to be pointing in the direction of the water flow, but now it's at least visually fixed. And there's a lot of blocks just like hidden underneath. I kind of screwed up the block placement, and so just kind of ignore that flying floating block there. So I don't know how much this is actually producing. I think I would need to get, I think there's a power meter of some sort that could tell me eventually, electric meter I guess, that would tell me how much it's actually producing. Maybe, I'm not sure. I saw some references to this, but in any case, I am finally producing RF power. So let's go back to the downstream system, which is my incubator. So just ran this across the inside here, and already we are almost full. So great. At this point then, ignoring the lightning, let's add our fish eggs from the cod, and that is finally running. Awesome. Disabled. Alright, so let's let that run, and in theory what this should do is produce male and female eggs that can be used, or male and female fish that should in theory be able to use in the hatchery down there. But it's a random tick. Alright, so I could put some speed upgrades on this. So I created a couple of hyperkinetic upgrades, very similar to what I did in the down here. Down at the hatchery. So let's throw these in here, and we can see that this is greatly, well, oh dear, greatly increasing the RF demand on the system, but it's also, working much faster. So, yeah. I don't think I can put any upgrades right now. Oops. Alright, let's let this build its way back up again. Yeah, and maybe I need to upgrade that the water wheel to I guess produce more RF power. Alright, so I've decided that over here is where I'm going to build an automated farm. So what I need to do is build the farm block, and that's going to require, I'm almost there, it's going to require this tin electron tube, which can only be made in the thermionic fabricator. Now the thermionic fabricator, of course, can only be made with sturdy casing, which requires a rolling machine. So I'm kind of running into a case where I need to make this rolling machine. So over here I've been prepping for a lot of stuff. So as I covered in the end of last episode, I really need to make molten rutile. So in order to do that, I need to melt it down in this blast furnace. So if I go just working backwards from the nether rutile ore, why do I keep messing? From the nether rutile ore, I'm going to have to melt this down in a blast furnace. The blast furnace is going to require 34 blast furnace brick pieces, which I think I've laid out here. But before I can do that, I have to make a bloomery to make wrought iron from the sand and iron. In order to make the bloomery, I need carpenter blocks and creosote, which can only be made by a coke oven. The carpenter block requires sturdy casing, which requires a rolling machine, which requires a blacksmith anvil. So let's get cracking. So the blacksmith's anvil and the anvil and the hammer, it's a little difficult to see here since it's black on black, but the blacksmith's anvil is going to require brick construction block, nether brick, and burnt brick. So I've laid that out here. So let's craft that up. And I need to be able to hit it with the blacksmith's hammer. So to get one of these, I need burnt brick, nether brick, laid out in this funky pattern. So let's make up one of those. There we go, getting an upgrade. And so to make the rolling machine, I'm going to require sheets of aluminum, which of course are made from the blacksmith anvil. So I need to take a block of aluminum and smack it down. So let's grab a block of aluminum. Let's place the block of aluminum on the anvil and see if I can smack it. Nope. Okay. Left click. one unworked sheet of aluminum. Okay, let's place that back. I don't know if this is working or not. Ah, great. So let's pull that off, and I have 8 sheets of aluminum. Excellent. Okay, so with that then, that should be my formula here for the rolling machine. So let's grab these pieces out and whip up one rolling machine. Okay, so this device is going to require RF power in order to operate. So fortunately, I can take my my power source over here. I don't know. I should probably set up a new room of all my RF toys, RF powered toys. So that's going to require me, I guess, running the cable in this direction. So let's take care of that. Which probably means I'm going to need another access point at some point. There we go. So let's throw the rolling machine down right here. And let's grab some more of that kinesis pipe, so golden kinesis pipe. And let's run it through the ceiling here like, well, okay, let's place the marble back down. And hook it up here. Is it smart enough to split? Or, I guess not, if I didn't actually connect it. There we go. Now it's angling out. So this is slowly powering up. So the next thing I'm going to need to make is a sturdy casing from bronze ingots. So let's grab the 8 bronze ingots and head over to the machine. Alright, here we are. So let's craft up one sturdy casing. Oof. Barely. Okay. Well, I got one at least. Alright, so the next thing I need to make is the carpenter block. So let's head over here and take a look at the carpenter. So this is again just bronze. I'm going to need that sturdy casing and a bit of glass. Bada bing. Alright, let's put that here. And, well, maybe not. So back over by the power area, let's throw the carpenter block in here. So now the carpentry block is used to create a variety of things, but most importantly is the Bloomery Furnace. So this is what's going to allow me to make a whole bunch of new blocks, but I can't do this until I have creosote oil. And creosote oil is going to come from a coke oven by burning down coal or blocks of coal or other stuff, wood and things, I think everything but charcoal. So what I need to do is now make this coke oven. Okay, so it turns out that up here I have all the materials I need to make the 26 coke oven bricks that I'm going to need to make the oven. So let's whip up that formula right now with the 26 seared brick and sand laid out in this pattern. The sear brick, of course, was pretty easy to get. I've covered before, just in the Tinker's Constructs smeltery. And this is a special multi-block that needs to be laid out in a 3x3x3 pattern. So I'm just going to build it here underground, and then fill it back in as I go. So this pattern is just going to be a standard square with the gap filled out in the middle. Let's switch picks. There we go. And the coke oven bricks then get laid down like this. And I just have to make sure that I leave a gap in the middle of this multi-block. And then once I finish that, it doesn't transform, but it does get a right-click option. And so here we see the interface where I can burn down material and produce the creosote. So I'm just going to load this up with a bunch of coal, and it's going to start burning down, and we see this ticker moving very slowly. Each piece is going to produce 1/2 of a bucket. Here we go. So 500 millibuckets, 1/2 of a bucket of oil, and I'm going to need 8 buckets worth. So 16 pieces, and this is going to take a lot of ticks. So there's no benefit to increasing to a block of coal. I just need to stick with coal and wait this out. And yep, so pretty long recipe. So I'm going to find something else to do while this ticks. Alright, and we're done. So that was the last piece I needed for the 8 buckets of creosote. So in between, I built this little contraption. It's just another fluid pipe leading to a tank and a normal Buildcraft engine. So let's power this guy up and see what happens. And what should happen is, yep, this is going to pump all the creosote up into the tank. So just let that run for a bit. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the coal coke. Let's see, what can I make with that? I can use it for fuel. I can use it in the blast furnace as a something. Well, basically any furnace looks like it's a kind of fuel. So let me just grab that out, and this should be almost. Well, no, actually, it's very, very slow. Okay, so let's while that's running, let's take a look at the blast furnace next. So the blast furnace is going to be made out of blast furnace brick. And that is the pieces that I had laid out before with wrought iron. So what I'm going to do is, again, create a little bit of space here, 3 by 4 tall by 3 wide. So I'm just going to use this area right here again, I think, to lay out the furnace. And yep, so I'll just dig down so that way it's at surface height. And there's our 8 pieces of creosote. So let's gather all this up and head over to the carpentry block. Alright, so before I head over to the carpentry block, I'm going to grab these items to make the bloomery. So let's head on over. Alright, here we are at the carpentry block. So I'm wondering if I can just right click and fill. Yes, I can. Alright, so that's easy. Done. So there's our 8 pieces of creosote. And the Bloomery Furnace. Okay, it's going to take just bricks and a normal furnace plus those 8 buckets worth and produce our Bloomery Furnace block. So let's lay that out here. Whoops, kind of weird. Alright, oh, I remember now, because I have to make a pattern and then put the pieces in the bottom. And then once the internal inventory sees that the item exists, Bloomery Furnace, there we go. So now it's ticking up. So that's going to tick up, and then when it hits the full full bar, it should consume the liquid and pop out the furnace. Alright, this is taking a little bit extra long because I seem to run out of my energy reserves. The power demands are outstripping the ability of the kinesis to repower it. But I at least finished the block. So let's grab it out and let's just place it over here and see what things look like. So let's take a look at the blast furnace block just for the wrought iron lattice. So in order to make this, I have to make 5 pieces of wrought iron, which is going to require sand and iron. So let's grab 16 of these. Let's throw in 16 sand and then power it up with the we'll take the coke, maybe. Let's try coal. Alright, so it looks like the problem is it specifically requires charcoal. And I don't know why it's raining again, but let's head over here and try to find some charcoal. Here we go. And let's plug that in. There we go. That's the right order. Okay, sand, then iron. And I'll let this burn down. Not sure. Yep, this is going to be pretty quick, I think. So I may not have. Let's see. I need 4 of these, but I also need. Let's see. 12 times 36 minus 1, 35 blocks worth. Let's say 36. So I'm going to need to make 3 rounds of this, so 15 wrought iron. Okay, that should be enough. I just have to wait for these 15 to burn down. Okay, and this is done. Great. So let's go over to a crafting station and build up the 2, 3. Great, that should be more than enough wrought iron lattice. Great, so next I'm going to need some construction blocks. So let's grab a little bit of that and whoops, I'm going to need my burnt brick, which I'm keeping over here. Burnt brick. I may not have enough of this. Okay, whoops. We interrupt this program. Where's my sword? Interesting. Okay, I'll have to deal with that soon. I'm not sure where must be having a problem in my base. Alright, let's grab 5 of those. Let's grab the infernal brick, which if I recall is coming from right, the infernal stone, infernal block. Okay, so this is what I need to make. So let's grab 60 infernal block, and I should be able to make right. So next I need to make a chisel, and right click with the chisel to bring up the interface, and infernal brick. There we go, 60 infernal brick. Which at this point I can make a couple of blast furnace pieces. So let's work through. Let me get the rest of them, and I'll cut right back. Alright, that should be the last of the bricks, so let's head over and craft up one more of the brick construction blocks. There we go. Let's add it to the stack here. So that should be 10 more stacks times 30 blast furnace bricks per stack. So there's our 36 bricks. Let's head up and finish crafting. So at this point, I'm just going to dig down 2, 3, 4. And I also made another little discovery, and that was how to make steel using the bloomery and the wrought iron. It turns out, like, I only have to put the wrought iron through one more cycle, and that's going to give me steel ore, which basically means I am extremely close to moving up to the next level of the pickaxe. So I could, again, work on that really annoying quest. And there we go. So let's, there we go, Blast Furnace. Okay, so the formula is ready. This is awesome. And what can I do? Let's actually just do a quick thing of steel. So steel ingot is going to use, I could either melt down steel dust, or here we go with the blast furnace wrought iron ingot. So let's just throw in a little bit of coal. What can I burn? Okay, I have to burn the coal coke here. Let's throw in a piece here. And then while that's ticking, let's go find my rutile. Alright, here's 10 pieces of rutile ore. Let's head back up here. And then check in on the furnace. Still ticking. And done. One steel ingot. Awesome. So let's throw in the rest of the nether ore. Oh, this is gonna, looks like it's gonna tick a lot faster than the steel did. Excellent. So I guess what I can do in between episodes is burn down a couple more pieces of steel. Excellent, excellent. Rutile ore. Okay, so I'm gonna burn down a lot more things here in the blast furnace, and by next episode I should be all set to move forward with the titanium seed. So if you could, please leave a comment or a like. Let me know how I'm doing, and I will see you next time in Regrowth. Bye!